Here we are again on another episode of the Maverick Makers Podcast. This week we have the delightful Aashima Verma. She is definitely one to watch. Aashima has been in the marketing industry for almost a decade and scaled her business to $1 million in 3 short years. She has a bachelor's in commerce with honors in international economics and postgraduate certifications in marketing management, public relations, and corporate communications. She's obsessed with all things marketing, lead gen, and funnels. Let's get started and let's go. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Maverick Makers Podcast. Today we have Aashima Verma. I am so thrilled to have her. She is a friend and a colleague, and she's just rocking it. So she was nominated for the Young Entrepreneur Award. She was nominated for the Small Business Award. She just finished a summit called the Rise Above Summit with Amy Porterfield and Mike Hyatt. And she is just killing it. I can't wait for us to dig deep and talk about her Maverick journey. And welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad I'm here.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you. So Aashima and I, just to give you a bit of context, did an amazing program together called Y Space. We recently had David Kwok on the show, and it was to elevate entrepreneurs to the next level. I was so lucky to have her in my cohort. So that's sort of the connection between us. So let's start. So the first question I have for you is, can you describe the word maverick and what does that mean to you?
First of all, I love that word. Secondly, I think to me, maverick just stands for someone who has the courage to do what they truly want, and someone who cares about what they want and they can stand in it with full faith, knowing that they're gonna make things happen regardless of what's going on. And that's our world. I think a maverick is someone who's independent. I usually think of someone who's not bothered by what other people are saying. Like they just do their own thing. To me, that's maverick.
What a beautiful definition. Let's talk about that word that you use that stood out the most to me, which is courage. And when I look at you, I think of courage. So let's talk about your journey. So not only focusing on business, but your life and how you came from another country, you built a business. So tell me a bit about it.
Yeah. Thank you. I think for me, my journey really started in India. I grew up in Punjab. That's where I spent almost 23 years of my life. For context, I am 29. I just turned 29. And yeah, it's been 7 years. Yes, it's been 7 years. I've been in Canada. I did bachelor's in commerce. I was always that kid who knew, like, I'm going to go into business or commerce, but I did not necessarily think that I was going to own my business. So I am born into this wonderful South Asian family, and everyone usually just like had a really good job. And, you know, they were VPs or like doing something within another company. So I thought that's what success looked like. And family is really important to me. So I always had that image in my mind, like, oh, that means you're successful. If you work for a great company, you're this like senior leader. I thought that's what it is. And it never even occurred to me when I was like, oh, I'm going to pursue a career in commerce that I could be the one running a business. It was not even an idea. Then I also am someone who just like loves to experiment. I think it comes in really handy because I am a marketer, and I think it's also something that has made me a really good business person because I'm not afraid of testing or experimenting. So in the beginning of my career, when I was like finishing up my bachelor's, commerce and business is a big field. I was like, okay, but what do I want to specialize in? I've always been a specialist. So I knew that, like I cannot be a journalist. Like I need to find my thing and get really, really good at it, to the point where like I interned at a media house at like with a newspaper, and I was in the events space. I did all of these things during my bachelor's, and basically was like, this isn't it, like until one day during this internship with an events company, a really big events company in India, and we were trying to sell tickets to this event, and there was a time crunch, and someone was like, oh, we should just run an ad. And that's when, and we were students at the time, so I'm like, well, how do you do that? And I did the infamous boosting, and I was like, what, $10 could get you this? And this is a long time back, but still, it was just so fascinating to me how that worked. I took up an online program with the university in Australia randomly after my bachelor's, and started applying to these different universities, one in Germany. And then the way fate would have it, I ended up in Canada, and I was like, I'm just gonna test doing this marketing management program, and got dean's honor roll. I was just like always that student, and then somehow started building up my client roster, originally just because I wanted to apply everything that I was learning. And secondly, I wanted to pay off my student loan. That was my only motivation, my honest truth. And I was like, let's do it. So, and I still thought that this was just something that I'm doing to like make more money. And then COVID happened. And at that time, I was a marketing manager, the youngest in the company. And it was in the beauty and med aesthetics industry. It was going really well. And I also had a lot of clients on the side. Thanks to COVID, I had more capacity. And I was just at a point where I was making 3 times more with my side business. And I was like, what am I even doing in this job? It just like, it doesn't make sense. The math is not mathing. So I gave myself 6 months, and I was like, okay, you have these 6 months, try it out and see what happens. I went all in, and there was no looking back. I had my business. We did over 6 figures in the first 6 months. And I was like, that's my salary. Like, I don't know how I did it. And that's how it started. Just like trying different things and landing here. And then it was one step after the other. It's been, oh my God, April. Yeah. It's been 3 years full time doing this thing. And I have a team, and we're doing really well. We specialize in Facebook and Instagram ads for course creators. So very specialized, but I love what I do. I hope that gives you some context.
Absolutely. The huge moves. Let's expand. Do you think there's one big, bold, maverick move that you did make so far in your 29 years?
I think moving to this country, I did not realize what I was doing because I was so young. I thought, oh, I'm just, going abroad to study. I didn't realize I was like leaving my network, my family, my support system, everything behind to do this on my own, to actually think about it. I'm like, you were not even 25 and you were trying to do all of this by yourself. I've been very lucky and fortunate that I found my people. I've built beautiful relationships. Now I feel like I have my chosen family here and back at home. But I think that was the biggest move. A very close second is actually doing the business full time. It felt scarier because I knew the stakes. So yeah, those two for sure.
That's huge. What did your family say when you were like, I'm going?
It's very interesting. So in India, for context, there's a lot of competition. Everyone's smart, I think. So I was taking a lot of entrance exams for my master's, and there was this exam that you basically had to clear to prove that you could be a good business person, or to enter into the master's in business admin program. And I got 89% on that. And that was really bad. Really, yeah. And I was like, and I just couldn't believe it. I was like, I refuse. That is not my result. Like, that's not, I won't let that system define me and what I can do. I was just very confident and pissed off at the same time. I was like, I can't be in this system. And that's when I told my parents. And that is, I think, my upbringing, my parents, they're just so supportive. My dad is a manager at an agency right now. He's a creative. He started out as a graphic designer in a time when not a lot of people was like they were doing that. His parents were not particularly supportive, so he made a decision for me and my younger brother that we will always have the choice. Whatever we wanted to do, like he was so supportive financially, emotionally, all of those things. I think it was a bigger call for them when I was like, I'm gonna quit my job. That was not like that was something that they were like, but why? Like you have everything. Why would you do that? It was hard for them to wrap their head around. But eventually they saw what I was going through and how it wasn't as fulfilling. I actually did not quit until they said it was okay, which it's important to me what they think, but yeah.
Beautiful. I love that story. What is your definition of success?
I think my definition of success has changed over the years. I do feel like I've lived like a lot in the last 5 years. I don't know how to explain that, but I feel like everything was really fast, really rushed, and it was amazing and beautiful. I own my home, I'm engaged. Like I never had this checklist for myself, but God is kind and I have all of these things. Currently in this moment, I think to me, success looks like having great health, and feeling like you're on the path of building some generational wealth. That's what it feels like. I don't want to feel rushed. I want to choose what I do in my time. I think it's the time freedom that's I'm after. I already have location freedom. I think that's good. But yeah, that ease and some ownership of my own time. Yeah.
Beautiful. That's amazing. And what advice would you give to young entrepreneurs that are just starting out, like way back when you were starting?
I think just say yes. Like you'll figure it out. It's okay. For me to, at this time, it's easy for me to say, I think that, hey, you can take it slow and still build things, but I have had a foundation of a lot of hard work. I think people just starting out hear these messages from people who are more established and they think they can attract and they can take things slowly. And yes, there's a part of that in your success, but I do think you have there are a lot of seasons where you just like put your head down and do the work and let the work teach you. So I think for any young entrepreneur right now, first of all, this is the best time to take risks. So take them. 100% now is the time. Like my dad said that to me actually when I took the leap. He said, you don't have, children right now. I wasn't married or engaged or anything at the time. He's like, you can do it right now. This is your time. Exactly. And I felt it in his voice. He's like, I never got that chance and I want you to have it. So I took that very seriously and yeah, just try everything, do the things so that you don't have regrets later.
Amazing. Huh. Great. And that is true.
Yeah.
And even when you do have the kids, they grow up a little bit, then you can start taking risks again. So
yeah, totally. I'm always amazed and in awe of like I have a lot of clients who are moms and young families, and it's wild to me. For me, it was even hard to like integrate having a partner into my life and business and work. So I can't even imagine how that will happen. I'm sure everyone learns, but um, always in awe of all the moms who are working. Yeah.
Let's fast forward this question. What would you say to your 100-year-old self?
Oh, wow.
Aashima, I'm 100 years old. This is what I'm going to say to you.
So what would my future self say to me right now?
Hmm.
I think my 100-year-old Aashima would tell me that it's okay, take your time, live your life. You have time.
Amazing. That's great.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to step into the lightning round. So you ready? So
Okay.
these are right off the top. It's kind of like quick fire. You do your best. I love to hear these answers. Here we go. You ready?
Okay. Yes.
Dress up or dress down?
Dress up. Always.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah.
Sweet or salty?
Oh, salty. 100%. There's always. Yeah.
Truth or dare?
Truth. I can't do dare. That's not my personality. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk, but
Of course you're good.
my mother-in-law wanted me to do a little dance at our engagement party, and I was like, absolutely not happening. That's just not who I am. Not right now, at least.
So what was the truth part? Did you give her a truth?
I gave a speech. I was like, okay, I can do that, but not a dance. Sorry.
Amazing. What are 3 things and 3 people you are bringing to a desert island with you? I know, it's loaded.
Oh, wow. I'm like, do I have internet? Because then I have everyone.
Yeah, it's your island, so you're bringing internet. That's one.
Okay, cool. Yes, laptop. Laptop with internet, yes. People, I think it's easy for me. Definitely my partner. Oh my God, it's so hard. I truly want to bring my ops manager because I don't know if I can live without her at this point. But and then my parents. It's hard to choose. But yeah, those 3 would be. I know I could choose anyone, but I'm just so close with my people. I don't think I can survive without these 3. Things. I don't really need, well, food. So I will.
Laptop, internet, food, and you're allowed to bring your mom and dad. And hey, bring your brother too if you want.
Yeah, I want to. I'm like, I literally was feeling bad. I'm like, can I not bring it? But okay.
It's your island. You do what you want. Where do you want to travel next? Because I know traveling is a huge part of you.
Yeah, I want to go to Switzerland. When we were flying back from India recently, my layover was in Switzerland, and wow, like we were at the lounge, it was gorgeous, and I'm like, how did I not know about it? It's beautiful. I want to go. Yeah.
What's your life's motto?
It's changing, I think. Honestly, change is the only constant, so you might as well embrace it.
I love that. That's amazing. And when you're not in a room, what are the 3 things you want people to say about you?
Oh. This is such a good question. I have been so kind that people are always mentioning my name when I'm not in those rooms, but I want them to. I would love if they say that I learned something from her and that has changed my business or something forever, because I've had that happen to me, and I want more people to say that about me or their experience with me. I want them to say her integrity is unmatched, and I am very proud of my work ethic. So I think if they say something along those lines of like, oh, her work ethic is unmatched, I think that would be cool too. Yeah.
That's awesome. Last question.
Okay.
Ready? What's next?
I am sitting with that one. I am not sure. That's my honest answer. I do want to do all I know. I am going to do something big and bold. It's going to 10x everything. I don't know the how, but I am going to do it. It is my destiny. But I'm figuring out how.
You just gave me chills with that one. And that's why you are a maverick. The bold, you don't need to know the how. You just need that fire inside you, and you have it. Thank you so much for being on the show. You've inspired me. I know you're going to inspire so many others. And again, I can't wait to see that 10x. Thanks again.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
The Maverick Makers Podcast is sponsored by Maverick Makers Content Creation Collective. We fuel your content pipeline through video, photography, design, and editorial. Let's connect to your audiences and make more sales. Learn more at maverickmakersco.com.